Hey, contrarians! It's your girl, Lumi Hashley here, and welcome back to the Decoding Crypto Team, where we peel back the layers of Web3 so you can actually get it. Now, I know this kind of tech-heavy breakdown is usually served up by our resident ancient artifact, Cornelius. But let's be real, this topic needs a different kind of energy. Quick disclaimer, this isn't financial advice. I'm here to break things down and help you learn, not tell you what to buy. So always do your own research and make decisions that feel right for you. Today we're diving into NFTs, and the team figured who better to talk digital creativity, ownership, and the art meets tech revolution than yours truly. So buckle up, because I'm bringing the receipts, the history, and the actual tech behind what makes NFTs more than just overpriced JPEGs. So let's start with the basics. What even is an NFT? NFT stands for non-fungible token, which is basically a fancy way of saying this thing is one of a kind and can't be swapped one-to-one for anything else. Unlike crypto like Bitcoin or ETH, where every coin is the same, NFTs are unique. Each one carries its own digital fingerprint, tied to ownership records and metadata that are permanently etched into the blockchain. That uniqueness is what gives NFTs value. It's what lets them act like a digital certificate of authenticity. Think digital art, game items, collectibles, music files, real estate deeds, even receipts or diplomas. If it can be owned, verified, and traded, it can be an NFT. Now, under the hood, NFTs are powered by a whole lot of tech. There's the blockchain, which keeps all the receipts, literally. Then we've got smart contracts, automated code that handles stuff like royalties and transfers. Add in cryptographic signatures to prove you really own what you say you own, and metadata standards that describe the thing itself. And you've got a complete, verifiable, unstoppable asset. And no, this isn't all locked to Ethereum anymore. We've got NFTs living on Solana, Flow, Tezos, and now even Layer 2s and app chains. That's what makes NFTs foundational to digital ownership. They're portable, programmable, and can represent pretty much anything. So how do they actually get created? That's where minting comes in. The process of turning your art, audio, or whatever into a token that lives on-chain. You upload the content to something like IPFS, define the attributes and rules, then run a smart contract to lock it all in. Boom, it's now a token with its own ID, provenance, and owner history. And from that moment on, it's in the blockchain's hands, which means no one can fake it, delete it, or alter its origin story. Of course, not all NFTs are created equal. The technical standards matter big time. You've probably heard of ERC 721, the OG NFT format on Ethereum. Then there's ERC 1155, which lets devs mix fungible and non-fungible tokens together in one contract. ERC 2981 adds automated royalty logic, and ERC 5173 lets NFTs evolve over time. Yes, NFTs can level up now, like Pokemon. Wild, right? So now you're probably wondering, how did we get from rare Pepes and CryptoKitties to this? What actually pushed NFTs from obscure tech to a full-blown cultural wave? Well, contrarians, that's what we're covering next. Because to really understand where NFTs are going, we've got to look at the iconic projects that shaped the space. The ones that minted millionaires, broke the internet, and built communities that still matter in 2025. From punks to apes to penguins, the next chapter is all about the collections that changed the game. Let's get into it. Now, we're diving headfirst into the NFT Hall of Fame. Forget what you thought you knew about pixelated monkeys and overpriced JPEGs. This is where art, code, and community collide to create some of the most iconic digital movements in Web3. Let's start with the OGs, the collection that basically gave birth to the NFT culture, CryptoPunks. Released back in 2017 by Larva Labs, before ERC 721 even existed, CryptoPunks were 10,000 little pixel people that you could claim for free. Yep, just pay gas. And now, one of those tiny pixel avatars has sold for over $24 million. Wild, right? Their tech was raw, but it worked. Their scarcity model? Genius. And culturally, let's just say they're hanging in the Museum of Modern Art now. Literal NFT royalty. Then came the cool kids, Bored Ape Yacht Club. Yuga Labs launched BAYC in 2021 and didn't just sell you art, they sold you status. That ape became your all-access pass. IRL parties, merch drops, and even your own IP rights. You could slap your ape on a beer can or build a brand around it, and people did. From Paris Hilton to Gucci collabs, BAYC blurred the line between NFT and lifestyle brand. It was utility, community, and flex, all in one PFP. Now, if you're more into generative art, welcome to the world of art blocks. Think algorithmic masterpieces created in real time, where the code is the artist. Collections like Fidenza, Chromie Squiggle, and Ringers have fetched millions and are now living inside traditional art museums. It's like the blockchain became a gallery and every mint was a surprise. Let's not forget the heavyweights behind the scenes, Beeple and Pac. Beeple shattered the art world with his $69 million sale at Christie's, 1 JPEG, 5,000 days of artwork, and a global mic drop for digital creators. Meanwhile, Pac brought mystery, mechanics, and conceptual brilliance. Ever heard of The Merge? It sold for nearly $92 million, redefining how we think about ownership, scale, and participation. But NFTs aren't just for looking at. They're for playing in. Enter the gaming and metaverse boom. Axie Infinity took the world by storm in 2021, letting players earn a living by battling Pokemon-style creatures called Axies. At its peak, people in the Philippines were literally quitting their jobs to play full-time. Of course, the hype cooled and the economy needed fixing, but the legacy? Undeniable. Decentraland and the Sandbox turned NFTs into real estate and interactive spaces. Want to buy virtual land next to Snoop Dogg? You could. Want to build a game without knowing how to code? Sandbox got you. These metaverses aren't just video games. They're worlds you can own, govern, and monetize. And then there's the redemption arc of the century, Pudgy Penguins. Once on the verge of collapse, they made a comeback so strong they landed in over 2,000 Walmart stores. That's right, plushies and all. From scandal to retail sensation, only in crypto. Let's also spotlight Moonbirds, with their innovative nesting rewards, and Azuki, which took anime vibes and turned them into phygital experiences, physical-backed tokens tied to skateboards, and fashion drops. Super innovative, super aesthetic, even Bitcoin's getting in on the action. Thanks to ordinals, inscribing NFTs directly into Satoshis. No smart contracts needed. That's decentralization taken to the core. Oh, and we can't ignore the AI movement. Projects like NeuralPunks and Bored AI Club are redefining creativity with generative art that evolves over time. These aren't static NFTs, they grow, morph, and reflect their environment. It's like collecting sentient pixels. Now, how do we evaluate all these NFTs? It's not just floor price. We look at rarity, are the traits unique? Community, are the holders engaged? Utility, does it do more than look pretty? And performance, does it hold value, trade well, and show signs of longevity? The NFT space has matured. We've gone from meme avatars to programmable digital assets with deep value layers. The collectors are savvier, the community's stronger, and the collections more diverse than ever. But here's where it gets really interesting. NFTs aren't just about art or avatars anymore. They're unlocking real-world use cases, from diplomas and medical records to event tickets and product authentication. Yeah, we're going beyond the JPEGs in the next chapter. Stick with me, and I'll show you how NFTs are sneaking into industries you'd never expect. Let's go. Hey, contrarians, it's good that you're still here with me. And if you thought NFTs were just about profile pics and overpriced pixel penguins, oh honey, do I have a reality check for you. While Cornelius usually handles the dry economic stuff, I'm here to show you how NFTs are becoming the invisible infrastructure of tomorrow's world. We're going full-on utility mode, and trust me, it's more exciting than it sounds. Let's start with music. You know that dreamy idea of your favorite artist getting paid fairly, and fans like you actually owning a piece of their success? NFTs made it real. Through programmable royalties, artists can now lock in lifetime payments for every resale of their work. No greedy middlemen eating up 80% of the pie. Smart contracts just make it automatic. You buy, you sell, the artist gets their cut forever. And the power shift doesn't stop there. Platforms like Royal, founded by the DJ3 LAU, let you own actual royalty rights to songs. Like, for real, you could be vibing to Nas's Ultra Black while collecting royalty checks from it. And this isn't just a flex. Some early investors have made over 300% returns. Yeah, beats just owning a vinyl, huh? Then there's Audius. It's basically the Web3 version of Spotify, but owned by artists and fans. Snoop Dogg even re-released Death Row Records music as NFTs. Because why not, right? Artists finally get control, and fans get more than just a playlist. They get a stake. Now let's take a detour from your headphones and walk through real estate. Yep, I said real estate and NFTs in the same breath. Because now you can actually buy a house with an NFT deed. Proppy already did it in Ukraine, Florida, and beyond. It slashed closing time from 40 days to like an hour. Plus, no shady backdoor deals, the entire ownership history is locked forever on the blockchain. Crystal clear, immutable, chef's kiss. You want fractional ownership? You don't need $100,000 to invest in property anymore. Platforms like Metropoly and Realts let you invest in real estate with like $50. You earn rental income through smart contracts, no landlord headaches attached. Oh, and the properties are tokenized, legally backed, and way more liquid than traditional real estate. This is what decentralizing wealth actually looks like. Now, let's talk identity. Soulbound tokens, or SBTs, are like your digital passport. They can't be transferred or sold, which makes them perfect for things like diplomas, job certifications, or even medical licenses. So when someone says, "Show me the receipts," your blockchain credentials say verified. Binance's BAB token is one of the biggest real-world examples. It's like a Web3 KYC badge accepted across hundreds of apps. MIT and Harvard are even issuing diplomas this way now. It's not some sci-fi future. It's happening right now. You'll carry your whole professional life in your wallet, minus the stapled resumes and awkward HR calls. And hold up, we haven't even touched supply chains. From luxury handbags to fine wine, NFTs are fighting counterfeits better than any barcode ever could. The ARA Consortium, that's Louis Vuitton, Prada, Cartier, is using NFTs as digital passports for their products. You scan your bag and boom, full authenticity and ownership history. No more getting scammed on resale. In the food and pharma space, we've got VeChain and MediLedger literally saving lives. You can trace your Wagyu steak from cow to kitchen, or verify that your meds didn't come from a back alley lab. These aren't collectibles, they're infrastructure upgrades. So yeah, NFTs aren't just art, they're identity, property, authenticity, and transparency wrapped in cryptographic armor. But okay, before I go full TED Talk on you, let's shift gears a little. Because next, we're stepping into the pixelated playground of Web3, where NFTs collide with gaming, avatars, and entire digital universes. From Axie Infinity to the Metaverse of the sandbox, NFTs are reshaping how we play, trade, and live online. Stick around, hit that like if your mind's already blown, and let's continue to the next chapter, NFTs in gaming and the Metaverse. Hold up, contrarians. Before we dive into digital dragons and voxel empires, can we take a second for a little vibe check? If you've been learning something new, nodding along, or just vibing with how NFTs are way more than overpriced JPEGs, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that Lumi's doing her job. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's your moment. Trust me, the Decoding Crypto Team's just getting started, and you don't want to miss what we've got lined up next. Share this video with that one friend who still thinks NFTs are just monkey pictures. Yeah, that one. All right, now let's fire up the consoles and log into the next realm, NFTs in gaming and the Metaverse. Okay, contrarians, ready to plug into the Matrix? Let's dive headfirst into NFTs in gaming and the Metaverse. Because if digital ownership was born in art, it's growing up in games. Now here's the tea. For decades, we've been grinding away in virtual worlds, unlocking skins, farming loot, buying battle passes, and yet, all that time, we've owned absolutely nothing. Those rare mounts, that mythic blade you spent weeks forging, poof, meaningless the moment the devs pull the plug. But now, NFTs are rewriting the entire rulebook. Gaming NFTs flip the script. Instead of renting assets from developers, you actually own them, on-chain, verified, and tradable. Your digital sword, it's a token. Your avatar, a scarce collectible. Your land in that fantasy MMO, it's got a deed on the blockchain. And the magic is in the permanence. These assets don't vanish when a game goes offline. You can take them with you, trade them, rent them out, even display them in other worlds. Think of it like finally getting to take your Fortnite skins into Roblox, Minecraft, and beyond. Interoperability, it's the buzzword, and it's real. Take the Engine Multiverse, where items from one game can be recognized and used in another. Or the World Wide Web Metaverse, where dozens of NFT collections from BAYC to Cool Cats are rendered as playable avatars. Then there's Gala Games, building an interconnected gaming ecosystem where your items matter across multiple titles. It's like Ready Player One, but on the blockchain. And if you're wondering whether this is just hype, Dapradar reported over $7 billion in gaming NFT trading volume in 2024. That's 22% of all NFT activity. The players have spoken and they're spending. Let's talk economy. Gaming NFTs have created secondary markets more vibrant than any auction house in World of Warcraft. From in-game performance to rarity and even aesthetics, NFT valuation is now a science. Want an Axie land plot? Be ready to drop a couple million. Need that tournament-winning Gods Unchained card? That'll be 6 figures. But at the same time, average NFT transactions in gaming are super accessible, between $30 to $200. That's lower than most console games. Some players are even making full-time income trading digital assets. Naavik estimates 3% of gamers in the NFT space earn over $1,000 monthly, just from in-game economies. Welcome to the new digital workforce. And the power shift doesn't stop there. With DAOs and community governance baked into these ecosystems, players aren't just participating, they're voting. They're shaping game economies, deciding funding priorities, and even managing treasuries. Illuvium's DAO treasury alone? Over $50 million. Controlled by players. NFT games are building economic systems with real revenue sharing. You stake assets, earn protocol fees, and collect royalties. It's like becoming a shareholder in your favorite game, except you earn as you play. Now let's zoom out, because the next frontier isn't just games, it's entire worlds. The Metaverse, persistent, decentralized, immersive. And NFTs are the infrastructure. In Decentraland, the Sandbox, Otherside, and Somnium space, land isn't just pixels, it's property, with deeds, rights, zoning, and marketplaces. And trust me, there's a real estate gold rush happening. Over $1.5 billion in virtual land traded by 2025. High-end plots, going for millions. Yup, digital dirt, real value. But what makes this land valuable is what's built on top. From concert venues and NFT galleries to corporate HQs and fashion runways, virtual land is being developed into full-blown economic zones. Entire businesses are operating inside the Metaverse. Republic Realm? They're a full-on Metaverse development studio with a 9-figure portfolio. Let's not forget the star of the show, you, or rather your digital twin. NFT avatars are more than profile pictures now. They're interoperable identities. Ready Player Me supports over 3,000 apps. BAYC apes walk in the sandbox. Doodles dance in spatial. This is your new passport to the digital world. And the fashion? Honey Digital is hooked. DressX, The Fabricant, and UNXD are selling luxury wearables, Gucci shades, Balenciaga jackets, even D&G crowns, made for the Metaverse. These aren't just pixels, they're status symbols. Some of these wearables go for $20,000 plus. I mean, slay. What makes it all work? Access. NFTs are tickets to gated experiences, VIP concerts, secret discords, DAO memberships, you name it. Remember Yuga Lab's Otherside demo? 4,500 holders dropped into the same metaverse at once for a live interactive journey. That's peak immersion. We're seeing token-gated everything, from Metaverse Fashion Week to private Metaverse clubs. It's the new social layer of the internet, and your NFT is your keycard. And if you're thinking this is all just play, think again. Entire businesses are being built in these spaces. From virtual retail stores by Gucci and Samsung to educational metaverse platforms like Verbella, we're seeing serious revenue. Creators are earning from building, performing, designing, even running virtual casinos. The metaverse isn't just for gamers, it's for entrepreneurs. McKinsey predicts a $5 trillion metaverse economy by 2030, and NFTs could power 25% of that. This isn't just a trend, it's a digital renaissance. The play-to-earn model, it's evolving. We're moving toward play and earn. Skill-based, engaging, sustainable. Axie Infinity taught us what not to do. Unsustainable inflation, high entry barriers, economic collapse. But it also taught us what's possible. Their pivot to Origin, with free-to-play options and tournament-based earnings, that's the future. Games like The Sandbox, Illuvium, and Gods Unchained are getting it right. Diverse income models, accessible gameplay, balanced tokenomics, and esports layers on top? Massive. We've come a long way from grinding for gold. Now, you grind for governance, for yield, for identity. And it's all real. Phew. That was a lot to unpack, wasn't it? If there's a project you want me to break down, maybe a game, a DAO, a Metaverse startup, drop it in the comments. I'll keep an eye out for your favorites and might feature it in a deep dive. But don't go anywhere just yet, contrarians, because in the next chapter, we're about to level up again into the future of NFTs, programmable and dynamic NFTs, or what some are calling NFT 2.0. These aren't just tokens, they're living, breathing digital organisms that evolve with you. Let's dive even deeper. Hey, contrarians, welcome back to our deep dive into the NFT universe. In this segment, we're unlocking a new layer of this digital reality. So far, we've explored how NFTs are revolutionizing art, music, gaming, and the metaverse. But now, it's time to peel back the curtain on a transformation that's rewriting the very code of what an NFT can be. Welcome to NFT 2.0, programmable, dynamic, and way more powerful than anything we've seen before. Let's rewind for a second. The first wave of NFTs, or what we now call NFT 1.0, was all about ownership. You bought a JPEG, you flexed it as your PFP, maybe flipped it for a profit, and that was pretty much the whole experience. Cool? Yeah. Revolutionary? Definitely. But interactive? Not so much. NFT 2.0 changes all of that. Imagine an NFT that evolves over time, reacts to real-world events, and even earns you revenue or unlocks new content based on your actions. These aren't just digital collectibles anymore. They're programmable digital organisms. Let's break it down. In the early days, NFTs were static. Once you minted a token, that was it. Its metadata, image, and function were set in stone. But now, thanks to major upgrades in smart contract technology, NFTs can change based on inputs like time, your behavior, even the weather. That's right, your digital sneaker can literally change color when it rains in Paris. How's that for style? This shift has been made possible by smarter smart contracts, code that now supports things like oracles for external data, modular design for upgrades, and token standards like ERC 6551, which allows your NFT to act like a wallet with its own assets and capabilities. And it's not just technical wizardry for the sake of it. It's laying the groundwork for serious real-world applications. Think of programmable NFTs as onions. Layers, baby. At the core, you've got the immutable identity, your original NFT. Then there's the attribute layer, traits and properties that can evolve. Over that is the presentation layer, which controls how the NFT looks or functions based on its current state. And finally, the interaction layer, where all the magic happens, letting holders, apps, and even real-world events shape the NFT in real time. Let's say you have a membership NFT. Over time, as you hold it longer, attend more events, or participate in governance, your token starts unlocking perks. Maybe it upgrades into a premium tier, or maybe it grants you voting rights in a DAO. These aren't hypothetical anymore, they're live and happening. Projects like Chainlink are powering this evolution with verifiable data feeds. That's what allows an NFT to change its metadata based on the price of ETH, or whether your football team won their last match. Imagine holding an NFT of your favorite athlete, and it levels up every time they score a goal. Or a sneaker that gains XP every time you go for a jog, Step's already doing it. Another dynamic layer is time. NFTs can now mature, decay, or transform based on how long you've held them. Maybe you get bonus artwork if you hold for 6 months, or your asset ages, visually like fine wine. We're seeing this in wine investment NFTs, loyalty tokens, even storytelling NFTs that drip-feed you chapters over time. And yes, NFTs are becoming real-world aware. With integrations from the Internet of Things, NFTs can reflect changes in physical items, like luxury watches, tracking maintenance, or supply chain tokens updating as your product moves from warehouse to doorstep. What's wild is how this tech redefines ownership. It's not just I own this. It's I interact with this. I evolve with it. I grow it. NFTs now come with built-in logic for governance, financial utility, even conditional access. Want to join a gated community? You'll need an NFT that's met certain conditions. Maybe you've held it for a year, or completed a set of quests. Yes, quests. Web3 is basically turning everything into a game. Let's talk real-world applications. Music NFTs like Royals Limited digital assets are now programmable. Royalties split dynamically, earnings adjusted based on platform revenue, and payouts sent automatically to multiple collaborators. Meanwhile, property NFTs on platforms like Propy or Real to update dynamically with rent payments, maintenance reports, and legal compliance triggers. And get this, Revenue-generating NFTs are outperforming static ones during bear markets. When everything's red, utility holds the line. Projects like NFTX, Charged Particles, and Sound.xyz are building entire ecosystems where NFTs aren't just collectibles, they're productive assets. One of the most exciting frontiers, fundraising. NFT 2.0 allows for milestone-based releases of capital, performance-linked investment triggers, and even dynamic governance over treasuries. We're talking about programmable contracts that know when a goal is hit and automatically unlock the next round of funding. No lawyers, no paperwork, just code. And of course, the infrastructure's catching up. Platforms like Manifold are giving creators the tools to build dynamic contracts without writing a single line of code. Pope is evolving from event badges to full-blown memory chains. Starbucks is turning loyalty into a living, breathing NFT experience with Odyssey. Even Nike is fusing fashion with programmable kicks via RTFKT. All of this points to one truth. NFTs are no longer just about art. They're becoming operating systems for ownership, interaction, and value. And the ones that adapt, evolve, and do something, they're the ones that will survive this next cycle. Now, before we head to the next chapter, I want to hear from you. Are there any NFT 2.0 projects you've been eyeing? Anything you want me to dissect or explore in an upcoming video? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm always listening. All right, contrarians, in the next chapter, we're peering into the future. The opportunities are massive, but so are the challenges. Regulation, scalability, UX friction, public trust. We're about to unpack all of it. So stay locked in, because in the next one, we explore the future of NFTs, challenges, and opportunities. Let's wrap this journey up with the truth behind what's next for this tech. You don't want to miss it. See you there? All right, contrarians, let's zoom out for a second. We've surfed through the NFT 1.0 wave, dived deep into programmable assets, danced through Metaverse raves, and now we're staring straight into the heart of what's coming next. Because while NFTs have rewritten the rules of digital ownership, the story doesn't end with flashy profile pics or land in pixelated universes. No, it's just getting started. But to build this next frontier, we need to address the obstacles head-on. Let's talk sustainability, legality, utility, and that ever-elusive promise of mass adoption. First stop, the environment. The green elephant in the room. You might remember the backlash. Artists like Joni Lemercier canceling NFT drops after realizing a single transaction used the same energy as 3 days of household electricity. That was back in the proof-of-work era, when Ethereum's environmental footprint could rival small countries. But things changed in 2022. Ethereum went full proof-of-stake, slashing its energy use by 99.95%. That's not a typo. 99.95%. Platforms like Solana, Tezos, and Avalanche, they were already built green from the ground up. And Layer 2 solutions like Polygon and Immutable X now push thousands of transactions with barely a whisper of carbon output. Even marketplaces are stepping up. Nifty Gateway partnered with Ariel to offset emissions automatically. Beeple's drops are carbon negative. KlimaDAO, they've already retired over 25 million tons of carbon credits, some directly tied to NFT usage. We're not done, but the narrative is shifting from destruction to regeneration. Sustainable NFTs aren't a niche, they're becoming the standard. But if energy isn't the deal breaker anymore, regulation just might be. This is where things get murky. Depending on where you're watching from, NFTs could be property, collectibles, securities, or just digital chaos. The UK and EU are moving toward clearer frameworks. The SEC, well, they've started cracking down. Some creators got a wake-up call when their community-driven NFT launches started looking a lot like unregistered securities. Trademark law is also heating up. Remember Meta Birkins? That case shook the art meets fashion scene. Nike is in a legal tussle with StockX. And then there's the AI layer, art generators accused of scraping copyrighted material to mint NFTs. The rules haven't caught up with the tech yet. Royalties are another battlefield. OpenSea and Blur launched conflicting approaches to enforcing creator fees. But new standards like ERC 2981 and projects like Royalty Registry are trying to fix that. Because here's the thing, if creators can't reliably earn royalties, the entire incentive model for digital ownership starts to wobble. And don't even get me started on taxes. The IRS now classifies NFTs as collectibles, which means a 28% capital gains rate in the States. Tools like Token Tax and CoinTracker help, But as legislation evolves, creators and collectors are going to need accountants with Web3 PhDs just to stay compliant. Okay, let's breathe, because now we shift from what's broken to what's blooming. The NFT market is maturing. Speculation is giving way to real-world use. Institutions like JP Morgan and Visa aren't just dabbling, they're investing. Sotheby's has a whole NFT division. Index funds, fractionalized collections, custody services, they're building the financial rails for a digital asset economy. Meanwhile, brands are embedding NFTs into everyday experiences. Adidas and Gucci drop physical fashion backed by on-chain certificates. Warner Music is releasing artist NFTs. The NBA, NFL, and UFC are turning sports moments into digital memorabilia, moments you can own. And there's more. Utility-based NFTs, tokens that unlock software, grant access, or verify identity, are rising fast. They're less speculative, more functional. The data's clear. During bear markets, utility NFTs hold their value far better than the hype-fueled JPEGs of old. Behind the scenes, corporate titans like IBM, Microsoft, and Amazon are building enterprise-grade NFT services. From verifying pharmaceuticals to authenticating real estate, the business case for NFTs is no longer theoretical, it's operational. Now let's gaze into the crystal ball. AI-generated and AI-integrated NFTs are taking off. Projects like Boto are creating autonomous artists. Async Art's GPT integrations let collectors morph visuals using text prompts. And Alethea AI's intelligent NFTs, they can actually talk to you, grow with you, evolve with you. Physical-digital fusion is another frontier. LVMH's Aura Consortium has verified over 20 million luxury goods using NFTs. Nike's CryptoKicks, they link NFC chips in sneakers to on-chain twins. VeChain is tracking billions of real-world products with digital identifiers. Security and privacy are getting an upgrade too. Aztec and Secret Network are pioneering private NFTs using zero-knowledge proofs. And with lit protocols encrypted layers, access can now depend on holder attributes without revealing those attributes. Think of it like a stealth key to a secret club. All of this is moving toward one thing: invisible NFTs. That's right, experiences where users don't even know they're interacting with blockchain. Reddit avatars, Starbucks Odyssey stamps. Millions are already holding NFTs without calling them NFTs. That's the holy grail, mass adoption without the jargon. But it's not just about convenience, it's about convergence. AI, physical verification, privacy, utility. These aren't separate trends. They're colliding, merging, fusing. Imagine AI-generated dynamic NFTs that evolve with real-world events, held privately, verified physically, and used daily, without the user needing a single crypto wallet. That's not some far-off fantasy. That's the next wave. And it's coming fast. All right, before we jump to our final chapter, I want to know, what project do you want me to dissect next? Whether it's a token you're holding, a platform you're curious about, or some mysterious new drop you spotted on crypto Twitter, drop it in the comments. I'm watching, because next, we tie it all together. The final chapter, how this all converges and what it means for the long-term trajectory of NFTs. All right, contrarians, we've made it. From the early JPEG craze of NFT 1.0 to the programmable powerhouses of NFT 2.0. From metaverse land grabs to decentralized gaming economies. From climate concerns and regulatory rabbit holes to AI art, NFC chips in sneakers, and invisible adoption baked right into Starbucks points, we've covered a lot of ground. But if you've been paying close attention, you've probably noticed something. All of these seemingly separate streams, AI integration, physical asset verification, privacy tech, enterprise adoption, evolving token standards, they're not running in isolation. They're converging rapidly. Let's break that down. AI is no longer just generating weird art, it's powering NFTs that think, talk, adapt, and evolve in real time. At the same time, physical world connections through NFC chips, IoT sensors, and blockchain registries are anchoring digital assets to tangible reality. Suddenly, your digital watch NFT knows if your real watch has been serviced. Your AI-generated avatar knows your location, your fitness stats, your purchase history, and responds accordingly. Meanwhile, privacy tech is making all of this invisible. Zero-knowledge proofs let you unlock exclusive content without ever revealing your identity. Secure encryption lets NFTs carry sensitive data while keeping it safe from prying eyes. It's not just private, it's programmable privacy. And the user experience getting smoother by the second. Starbucks, Reddit, Visa, Apple, Samsung, they're integrating NFTs without using the word NFT. We're moving from wallet setups and seed phrases to one-click onboarding, fiat payments, and seamless app experiences. So what does this all mean? It means that NFTs aren't just digital collectibles anymore. They're becoming the connective tissue between our digital and physical lives, between ownership and identity, between play and productivity. They're evolving into infrastructure, tools that underpin the next phase of the internet, the economy, and maybe even society itself. Sure, challenges remain, regulation is messy, standards are still forming, not everything works yet. And some projects are still, let's be honest, kind of grifty. But the long-term trend, it's undeniable. NFTs are becoming more useful, more composable, more intelligent, and more invisible. The best NFTs won't just sit in your wallet looking pretty. They'll do things. Talk, adapt, unlock, evolve, reward, protect, connect. And those who understand how to build and play in this new paradigm, they'll be shaping the digital world for decades to come. So now, contrarians, it's your move. If this deep dive lit a spark, hit that like button to show some love. If you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your Web3 curious crew. And hey, got questions? Confused about something? Want me to break down a project you've been eyeing? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. Because this isn't the end of the journey, it's just the beginning of a much deeper conversation.